Hi Cancer, and welcome to your reading for March 2019. My name is Melanie. This is a general reading for Cancer moon signs, Cancer sun signs, and of course Cancer rising signs, so it may or may not resonate with you. Just take what you like and leave the rest. So I use a 5-card spread for each month, and the cards that came through for you guys were in the first position representing the past energy, the 10 of Wands card. In the representing the current situation, current issues going on this month, the 2 of Wands card there. In the third position, being about any obstacles that may show up this month, the Knight of Coins, otherwise known as the Knight of Pentacles. In the fourth card representing possible helpful tools this month, you guys have the Knave or the Page of Cups. And finally, the outcome card for Cancers this month is the King of Cups card. And the card lying down there representing the overall theme for the month, and I'll be reading about that card towards the end of the reading. The card that came through for you guys is called Magpie, and that represents spoken word. So we'll see how that ties in to the other cards that showed up for you Cancers this month in March. So starting with past energy, a past situation, anything that may be from the past that may be affecting and sort of still flowing into the month. This month you guys have the 10 of Wands card. So Wands, the 10 of Wands is a card about burdens, you know, feeling really weighed down by stress, by responsibility, that you've taken on too much, that you've set yourself up perhaps for failure in some way. It's number 10, so you're at the completion of something. Maybe you have gotten somewhere, there is some success and some achievement that you've gained, but at the expense of yourself, really. You've come to the end of the cycle, but you're under still a lot of pressure, and you've taken on a heavy load to get where you are or where you were, perhaps if this is something in the past, like a job that you've completed or a role that you're in or something. But you've been under a lot of stress and pressure from this workload, and you can't quite see things ahead of you. You're so weighed down by these wands that you've been carrying that it's difficult to see anything beyond this, because you're so weighed down by them, by the pressure, by the oppressive nature of their weight, you know, by deadlines, by being so busy that you're no longer productive. And that there has been a huge load on you in some way, shape or form. So boy, do I hope that that's finished now for you guys Cancer, and you've moved from that now into the 2 of Wands representing the current month, current issues and situation. So this card is a card of progress, of looking ahead to the future, of making decisions, of discovery. It's sometimes about looking, feeling a bit restless, looking over there and thinking the grass is greener over there, I want to go over there, whereas it may not necessarily be the case. The wands represent creativity and our passions, so maybe you're looking ahead to the future now about some other way to utilize, connect, grow, develop something you are very passionate about. This is a card about hard work, and I think you've already been doing a lot of hard work. There's a duality to this card, being about being the number 2, and sort of thinking, do I go this alone? Do I continue to work on something in a group and risk kind of codependency? Sometimes we can feel a bit like we are avoiding responsibility of things with this card. We're feeling a bit restless or a bit bored. And you're looking ahead to the road ahead of you and needing to do some plans and preparations, and maybe you've avoided that a little bit because you're probably quite exhausted and a bit overwhelmed, as I think as the 10 of Wands card is suggesting, and you need to be finding a bit of balance here. So hopefully that resonates for what may be going on for you guys this month. And this card may also represent, you know, looking ahead, like to greener pastures, but to the wider world around you, and perhaps expanding yourself in some way, and not being a bit too sure about how to do that because you have been exhausted, I think, by the whatever issues have come up with the Ten of Wands card. You might have a more of a vision now of things. The Ten of Wands has sort of blocked you off from something because you've been so overloaded and burdened by something, and now you have a clearer picture of things. You've sort of got less burdens. You can see the world at hand and perhaps where you want to go, or you're like, I want to get out of this and I want to go over there because it looks nicer over there. And that may or may not be true. You may be feeling a bit dissatisfied with your current lot right now. Moving on to the third card, representing possible obstacles that may present themselves for this month, Cancers. And that's the Knight of Coins, otherwise known as the Knight of Pentacles. Pentacles are the represent earth signs, really grounded, earthly, slower moving energy, certainly than the Wands suit. Knights typically represent young men who are very adventurous, dynamic, you know, revolutionary. They create movement and change. They are about moving forward. The Knight is a slow moving energy though. He's quite methodical, patient, you know, decent, likes routine, is a bit conservative, contemplates the plan forward, quite reliable and hardworking, and able to finish a task and do what's necessary, and will do what it takes. The Knight of Pentacles, the Knight of Coins, so lacks spontaneity though, and sometimes struggles to look outside the box. Maybe just very focused on one thing and where they want to go with that. But perhaps unable to see the bigger picture. And is a bit too grounded, perhaps sometimes a bit too stuck, and a bit too stuck in the practical aspects of something. So there is something here, I think, too, to do with money, finances, perhaps a job as well. He can symbolise the coming and going of an important matter to do with money, and that you perhaps have felt secure, so secure that you're like, man, I don't really need to look ahead to where I'm going now. But the Two of Wands suggests that you are, but there's something here, I think there's a theme now with these three cards about struggle to see the bigger picture or to look ahead, and being a little bit too either burdened by stuff, as in the Ten of Wands, or a bit too narrow in the focus. Watch out for that. I think the Knight of Coins is sort of saying that, and you've got this intense focus now, and make sure you keep that broader perspective that the Two of Wands is saying to look at the bigger picture, the wider environment around you, to take stock of that, in where you want to go. The Knight of Wands has got that energy to move forward very slowly and methodically, and almost a bit too slow perhaps, and a bit too defined and narrowed. So be mindful of that this month, so that you don't get too bogged down in that, and that it shuts off things a little bit too much. What may be useful though this month is the Knave of Cups, or otherwise known as the Page of Cups. So this is an even younger kind of energy. The Knights, pages can typically represent children, and a really happy, confident kind of energy, lots of energy. Pages or knaves can represent messages, and messages coming in, messages from the universe being offered to you. This is real innocent energy in this card, a bit kind of fun and playful, and encouraging you perhaps to get in touch with your inner child, and the fun and the feelings around that, and the play and the spontaneity, the imagination that comes along with being a child. you know, I think it's a very joyous kind of energy. Sometimes this card can be about being drawn to magic, you know, to the arts, to meditation, learning and needing to focus on what you're learning right now, even if there's a bit of frustration that comes along with that. This card can be about developing psychic abilities and good ideas and really tuning into those messages of the universe that may be coming in. So this card, I think, is suggesting that what may be helpful is to lighten up a little, to get back in touch with your inner child, to be a bit more spontaneous, you know, a vastly different energy to the Knight of Coins card there, which is very steady and slow moving, and getting a bit perhaps stuck in that. The Page of Cups has a very bubbly kind of energy, full of fun, full of little happy feelings of youth, you know, that come along with that childlike kind of innocence. It can represent creative new beginnings, so be on the lookout for that. Of course, these cards, the court cards, can represent actual people in your life, so in terms of an obstacle, potentially just be on the lookout for someone who represents the energy of the Knight of Coins that may be a bit stuck. That would be a young, possibly male earth sign person who's quite efficient, conservative, methodical, hardworking, all good qualities, but this person may be an obstacle in some way. And then, of course, what may be helpful is if there's someone else, if there's not the energy of the Knave of Cups or the Page of Cups, someone who embodies this energy. And of course, cups are about water signs, so Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces, who is either very young or has very youthful energy about them. The outcome card for this month, Cancer, is the King of Cups. So here we are, we've jumped from a page right up to a King of Cups, another Cups card. So Kings obviously are quite mature energies. They're leaders, bosses, fathers, authority figures, right? Kings. So, and here we have another water sign. So potentially this is a male or somebody who embodies the energies of this card, the King of Cups, who may come in and be of use for you this month. But the King of Cups card is about being very balanced in one's emotions and in control of one's feelings, can ride out the waves of emotion and feelings very calmly, and is at ease with emotions, but occasionally may get caught up in them. But overall, being sort of in touch with that emotional, feminine, watery side of ourselves, and you know, showing great love, great kindness. It's kind of quite a creative energy associated with this card. A loving, very loving person and energy that comes along with this. In terms of an actual person, it may represent someone who is poetic or an artist, someone who's religious, a legal or a businessman. It's about keeping your composure emotionally, and so if this is an actual person that comes into your life, they're really steady, they're in touch with their emotions, but they're able to maintain balance. So it looks like the outcome though for you guys through this month is that you're able to maintain an emotional balance about something in your life. You will have patience in that, and you're needing to trust your feelings. So this, the King of Cups, he's very in touch with his feelings, is making decisions more based on that and rational, calm feelings rather than being too, and it's not really analytical at all, of course, which may be a good thing or a bad thing. There may be a person who offers you counsel in some way, whether that's actual counselling or therapy or some other guidance in some way, to help you find a bit more balance and make sense of things. You may be finding you're balancing up pros and cons of a certain area of your life, and you're needing to find the middle ground of that and to find the balance, and listening to your intuition, maintain your emotional composure around something. So it looks like you'll be able to do that by the end of this month, which is quite lovely, kind of moving from that really burdened place into a more calmer, emotionally composed, more balanced place, with perhaps a broader perspective now coming into place by the end of the month. Moving to the overall theme now of the month, and I like to read from the booklet that came along with these cards, the Dreamtime Reading Cards. Dreamtime is the Aboriginal Australian spiritual belief system. I use these cards more like oracle cards, and the card that came through for you guys is the magpie, and that represents spoken word. So I'm just going to read now from the booklet about what this card is about. So the magpie is a large black and white bird that has a bad reputation for swooping down on people passing by its nest. I'd say that it's only in spring for a few weeks at a time, but everyone universally in Australia is frightened of magpies at nesting season. Only nesting season do they swoop though. So its distinctive melodic song is often heard as the sun rises, and it is known as a very talkative bird. Often the juvenile is raised in a group, which can be very loud and demanding on its parents as the young bird struggles to find its independence. I can't tell you how many times I've been woken up or kept awake by a juvenile magpie squawking as it follows its mother around, or its parents wanting food. Kind of reminds me of the Knave of Cups energy there, that juvenile kind of energy. The magpie is associated with chatter, gossip, and the power of the spoken word. It also reflects the struggle of the adolescent. The bird often visits to remind you that gossip, and more importantly your reputation, is something that you must be mindful of. It warns against talking about other people and the damage that gossip can do. Talking with someone you trust can be very therapeutic. There could be that King of Cups person there. But talking badly about others can be very destructive and hurtful. The magpie is always chatting to itself, to its offspring, and even to other birds. It can indicate that there will be discussions, or that you may be the topic of others' talk. The best thing to do is watch your words, speak nicely about others, and avoid idle chatter. So I guess that's a bit of a warning there. I think to use your voice for the power of good and not for bad, and to be really on the lookout this month for gossip, chatter, that juvenile kind of crap that comes up, like say in high school. You're not in high school, you come out with the position of the King of Cups. You're so past that kind of crap, Cancer. So if that presents itself in your life, take a step back, take a deep breath. Don't get caught up in that emotional, those emotions really that come along with the kind of gossip and people talking about things behind your back, or trying to pull you into situations like that. Not useful at all. I think rarely useful at all. And instead, find someone that you can talk through and process feelings with, that is a lot calmer, that has the energy more of the King of Cups. So Cancer, I'm going to wrap it up here for you guys. I hope this has been of use. If it has, and it's resonated in some way, shape or form, you know what to do to show that appreciation. And on that note, I'm really grateful and appreciative that you've given your time and attention to watching and listening this reading. And I hope to see you all back in April. Have a good March. Bye.